Hey guys, what's up? This is Mark Luckenball with Local Client Takeover. We are back with press releases for ORM, Online Reputation Management. If you guys aren't offering it, you should consider it. It's a very profitable service, high profit margins, and it's a lot easier to close these type of clients because there's usually an urgency associated with your request, with the proposition. Their good names being torn apart, or tons of bad reviews. Other bloggers are talking smack on them, whatever it may be. And I don't want to make this all about ORM as opposed to press releases for ORM, because ORM is a very dynamic, diverse universe. It really is. There's a lot of ethical lines you have to draw before you start taking these type of clients, and I don't want to get into too much of that. I do a really solid ORM module's been on my to-do list for like a year now, and hopefully I'll get to that someday soon. But today I want to talk about just two types of ORM and how press releases can be incorporated into your toolbox to serve your ORM clients. So, right way to do ORM. Let's get started, guys. Let's put 10 minutes on the clock so I don't get too long-winded, and we're off. So there's two different kinds of ORM campaigns as far as we're concerned. It's proactive and reactive, okay? Proactive is when we're actively doing everything we can to position our business, or your client's business in this case. They're doing everything they can, whether it's through you, through themselves, and other service, to position themselves in the best light possible, and that's it. Okay, they're staying on top of the reputation game. As reviews come in, they tend to them. If they get a bad review, there's a system in place to try to forward it into their back end so they can take care of it so it doesn't go live. They're actively handing out postcards to get better reviews. They're posting them on their site. They really care about what people think of their brand, and they also appreciate the importance of appearing in a great light when people search them on the internet. So then there's reactive campaigns, and this is sadly this is where a lot of the big money in ORM happens, because it's a doctor calling saying, hey, a patient said I did this or did that, or I'm getting sued for this, or I got sued for this in my last business and now they found me out and they're talking about it. These are the type of campaigns that can drum up tons and tons of cash. This is where you really have to question where you're drawing your ethics line. You really don't want to step on your morality for some money. So you have to really do your research into these cases and make sure you're helping a small business rather than potentially hurting customers that are going to go there unaware of some of the danger they could pose. And it might sound dramatic, but we've had cases where we had to turn things down because it was very inappropriate accusations, or it was very serious things. And you have to take a step back out of the the digital marketing world and remember we're all human, and you need to do what's best for society as well. So anyway, yeah, we have 10 on the clock and I'm screwing up already. So those are the campaigns you run into most of the time, the reactive stuff. But press releases, they're best for proactive. And here's a couple ways you can use this. And this is an awesome sell. There's all kinds of tools out there now where you're selling review systems and different things to keep up with keep up with reviews and keep up with how your clients viewed online. So the importance is growing when it comes to proactive ORM, and it's all about education. And this would make an awesome little upsell in a proposal, or again, like we discussed in another video, just a value add. There's so many different pieces of value you can add with press releases. You might as well put them in the proposal and articulate that to your client. Like, hey, we don't need extra money for this. This is what you get when you partner with us. We genuinely care about your business. It's not just ranking your site. We're a digital marketing partner. We really care how your business is viewed online, how people interact with your brand online, and how we convert traffic into targeted leads online. And that type of again, now I'm getting off base into acquisition, but those lines work really well, and you can really knock it out of the park when you're trying to close clients with this stuff. So it can a nice PR strategy can create good standing in the community. So when people are doing their research on businesses and they're finding you're doing proactive ORM or just running your press releases. I mean, if you do your as long as you put the business name in, which we do for you guys for our service, we actually do a citation. The whole NAPs in your press release for your local client. When someone goes to search that business to do additional research on it, they're gonna find these things, these this perfect, pretty picture you're painting of your client. They're seeing all these good things about, oh, they helped in the community, or now they're offering discounts to senior citizens, and along those lines, oh, they just donated to this local charity. So as they're doing this research, they see all these good things, and people appreciate that. So it paints your client in a good light. It's good standing in the community. You populate search terms for brand and owner name. Okay, so this is just beautiful. Again, goes back to, like I said, when someone searches for the brand or owner name, it's going to be all these beautiful things. So if there is, a bad white pages review, a bad yellow pages, a bad Yelp review, whatever, you have more chances of it being farther back when you have tons and tons of press releases about all the the amazing things your client's doing with charities, with helping the community, yada yada, all those good things. It's really good for proactive management. Before you have to worry about removing things off the front page, you can just populate it with good press releases. So this is something really cool. I know Chris Munch had a case study about this in his Press Cable and SkyRanker systems, but it was actually one of their clients who they actually started using a continued PR strategy. So they didn't just do one-offs for SEO. They were, releasing PRs. I think it might have been once every 2 months or something. They would release a press release, but they actually got media coverage through that. And that's another thing to keep in mind, whether it's for your business or for a client's business. The more times you're cited in the media, the more times you can show someone, hey, we've been getting talked about for the past 6 months or a year on all these Fox News owned sites, these CNN News owned sites, all these important authoritative media outlets have been talking about us. Local media is really easy to manipulate and get on board. And if you guys have never read the book Trust Me, I'm Lying, you should definitely check it out. It has to do a lot with that. And if you really, it'll change how you view press releases reading that too, because you'll understand you can actually leverage these things to get real media coverage. You can leverage these things to have citations, to get really nice guest posts on big authoritative sites, and it's a good foot in the door to say, look where I've been seen, and not just with the media logos, but actually with the links. Here's an article talking about our business. Here's another one, and it starts to add up to the point where it's like, wow, this person's being covered by the media. Why aren't we talking about this person? And that's exactly how press releases work. It's exactly how small time media works. It eventually works up the pipeline, and bigger syndication platforms pick it up, and then real media could potentially run it. So it was a neat case study Chris did, and it's crazy because once you build up that rapport, that reputation of being talked about in media outlets, you could get covered locally. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we talked about this in the video, but I want to stress it again right here for ORM purposes. It's legitimate social proof. If someone looks for your client and they see all these great things, all these things they do to help the community, their brand name and owner names just populated with all the cool things they do, how they help, whatever. The repeated releases they end up getting. I mean, just imagine you get your client featured in the local news, like what type of increase or influx of business that could lead to, and all of these things just couple together, aside from just the as seen on logos, as seen on with the media logos like we talked about in the social proof video. All of these things together, thinking holistically, it builds this reputation, it builds this perception of authority around your client site. So, if you are actively selling proactive ORM campaigns, this would be a great tool to add into the box. If you're not, you should consider it either as a value add or a slight upsell. And just having access to tools like this is beautiful for upsells. If you have a client right now, and you might not even need it from an SEO perspective, you just, how can I have 50 clients right now? I'd like to try to upsell them something, because, the best marketers in the world will tell you the easiest people to sell to are people who are already buying from you. If they're already spending $1,000 a month, they'll spend another $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month. Okay, as long as you can provide some type of quantifiable result that could lead to an ROI for them. So, having little tools that enables you to say, hey, we'll charge you $100 a month. That gets you a press release every 2 months or every month, whatever. And here are the positive ramifications it can have for your digital presence. And it's just, any type of opportunity to continuously upsell. And like we covered in other videos, there's press release services that sell for several hundred a shot. There's people selling, like authority building packages where they get you mentioned in the media, and then you can use the as seen on logos, and some people charge thousands of dollars for that. So you guys are in a good position to have this as a tool to make some extra cash on for your clients. And as far as reactive ORM, I think I covered this in the SEO video, but you can get fast results, but 9 times out of 10, unless you really work hard, and sometimes it'll even crash then, they're going to be temporary results. Okay, more times than not. I don't want to use the 9 times out of 10 like I did a scientific study on it, because I didn't. I just know what we've experienced and what other people have experienced that we spoke to about this. You could get results super fast. So within a day or so of syndication, you might have front page results, all over the front page. As a matter of fact, a bunch of different news outlet sites, and you could hold those positions for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. But 9 times out, I don't want to use 9 times out of 10, but more times than not, if you keep going back to check, it's going to start sinking, and it'll end up being that in the news will disappear out of the search result, and it'll end up settling on page 2, 3, or 4, or farther back, depends. So it's like I said, it's a best solution for proactive ROM. But if you do have an ORM campaign, a reactive you're bringing on board, you can sometimes use the press release as like a quick result, just to show them some type of initial movement while you're optimizing and ranking the other properties. So really cool stuff to keep in mind, guys, whether you're going to try to upsell to current clients or add this in as a value add in your proposal for, and make it look like you're just killing them with value, or a small upsell, when you do sell, or whatever you guys want to do. It's just a great little tool. So thanks a lot for watching, guys.